we're here with the final segment of the interview with Rabbi Avraham Shmuel Levine. This is interview number 10, and our program is Meaningful Interviews. You told me, and I think in the first interview, that the Rebbe told you at the age of 20 to stay with your position in Agudas Rabbanim, Ezra's Torah. And I was thinking about it when you told me this, as I was walked home. I was like, you're 20 years old, you were a Talmud Chacham, you were a Chassid, you are, but you were totally immersed in that world. The Rebbe took such a person at 20, which is the prime of a yeshiva bacher's learning, and he basically took you out. He took you out. He told you to stay in Ezra's Torah, and now, Baruch Hashem, it's 60, almost 60 years later, I think, or so. Talk a little bit about that. What, do you see, looking back, what do you see?
It was.
When the Rebbe told you that, you weren't surprised?
Of course I was surprised.
Of course you were surprised.
Kabbalah
Sayel. But still, it's like he's taking you away from learning and davening and being with Chassidim. You know what I mean?
It's on the Rebbe's places.
Okay, but do you see how that was the right advice for you?
I'll tell you, of course. Because
that's what I want to hear.
The Rebbe himself said it to me. He wrote it to me. It was during one of the times, I really had it very, very hard in Agudas Rabbanim. To work with Rabbi Elben was very, very hard. He had no children, and somebody has no children.
He's very demanding.
He's very demanding. That's why if somebody has no children, cannot be a Rav in Sanhedrin.
Right.
So
he doesn't have the empathy.
Right, and he really, it was
torture.
Yeah, really. And many times
he wanted to quit.
I wrote to the Rebbe.
Yeah.
And one time the Rebbe, and then I got several answers of that. He says to me, I hear what you say, the reasons, but but tell me, if you're going to quit, are these reasons, whatever, the chesronos that you see in Agudas Rabbanim,
the deficiencies,
are they going to be fixed? Will it become better by you leaving? No. So he gave me, so stay.
So stay.
Another time he told me even stronger. He said, Kama v'kama inyonim ota shem bavod, was negei leklal Yisrael.
Veret bavod.
Me.
Oh.
Kama v'kama, by being there, ota shem bavod, kama v'kama dvor b'negei leklal Yisrael.
Wow.
So.
That means the Rebbe is writing to him that there's so many different things, because of you being there, you've helped.
You've
prevented bad things happening to Klal Yisrael and helping.
Yes.
So therefore, you should continue.
Yes.
That's a very, very heavy lashon. He wrote that in a letter?
Yes.
At Settle.
At Settle, yeah.
You should definitely, you have it.
Yeah.
So, which work of the various things that you did throughout your lifetime do you see as the highlight that gives you the most pleasure? You know what I'm saying? That you consider.
Of course, I do this.
No, I'm saying you did Jewish press and this, and you did here with the Eretz Yisrael.
Okay, many things I do this.
Agudas Rabbanim.
Yeah. Definitely. I feel now from Agudas Rabbanim, to go from Agudas Rabbanim to the UN or to the Jewish press, that's my Bibi.
Right. It's not the same.
But still, the Rebbe wanted me there too.
You could have probably gotten in with the Rabbanim here or in Eretz Yisrael if you wanted, in some position.
Since you mentioned it, I'll tell you something. I almost became also assistant, also to work with the chief rabbi of Israel, Rabbi Shapiro, when I came.
Oh, Rabbi Moshe? Avraham Shapiro.
But there was the time in the office that torpedoed that Sabbath.
Do you know he's my grandmother's stepbrother, Rabbi Yeshua Magnus.
Yeah, sure, I know.
He's out. I'm going to see him later, maybe tomorrow.
He doesn't remember me when we did the tzava together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But how many years were you in the tzava?
No, not long. Just training.
So, how did you even get to that position that Rav Shapiro was going to take you as his assistant?
When I came.
In 1982.
From Agnes Rabbanim, I figured the first place to go was to meet, to get acquainted, and
he liked it.
He liked it very much. We met many times. He liked speaking to me, hearing things,
Yeah.
like from Schneider Kotler,
Right.
going on and current events.
Yes.
And all that. So at that time, he said, Efshe, he mentioned it. I think his son also mentioned it, but people in Shadalem Ali didn't.
They interfered and they sabotaged it.
I just want to say one thing about something that Rabbi Shapiro told me, which I think is very interesting. He told me that it was during a week where he was very criticizing the press over something. I don't remember an issue.
Right.
One of the Russians did something, and he was very criticized about it. And I was there at that time to interview him for the Jewish press, and I spoke to him and I said, "What do you say about all this criticism in the Jewish press, in the press, the Yot HaChronot, Ma'ariv,
Yeah.
in the secular press?" So he said, "Let me tell you something. There was here in Israel, in Meir Shalom, there was a Rav, Meir Shalom, with Shmuel Salanta.
Yeah.
And Shmuel Salanta, the Zionisten, didn't like him very
Right.
much because he always spoke against
The Zionists.
So they didn't like him very much. So one time a delegation of these Zionists came to his house, and they said, "Listen, if you're not going to stop your criticism against us, we're going to smear you in the papers like never before. You have no idea what we can do." So Rav Shmuel Salnata said, "And what do you think? I'm going to remain silent?" So they said, "What are you going to do?" "I won't read it."
I got it. So that's what Rav Shapiro said.
They get to him. He didn't read it.
Also, so what do you say? It's now Tufshin Pei 2025.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about what October 7th? Has it really made a change, and how, and what, and what's? Can you talk a few minutes about the current situation? No, I'm saying you've seen so much. You've been around. 82. You've been over 40 years here,
This is exactly what the Rebbe spoke about in 1979, 1979, and 1980. All the years that we're speaking against Shlomo Saaretz. This is the source of all the troubles, of giving up, of conceding.
What are they conceding now? What are they conceding now?
Just a moment. You say Camp David. You say there's peace. And what kind of peace?
I was asking.
Don't forget that Camp David was a precedent of giving up land. Until then, they did not give up land. They gave up the oil fields maybe in 1956.
The Sinai.
Yeah, but to giving up land, mamish, like they did then, or in Yudah Shomron, or give up all of Yamit for nothing, for a piece of paper. This is the first time this is a precedent. And this pushed it. This is the camp this is what the Rebbe saw.
Oh, I never thought of it that way.
This is what the Rebbe saw, and that's why and so you're asking me what's going on. The source of what's going on now is started there.
But aren't they being strong now? They're in Gaza. Okay. They're in Syria. They're in here.
Let's see how strong they'll remain. Let's see. I really have a chwadis on Bibi. I'll tell you the truth, because he wants to do the right thing, but the left. See, it was Begin who made the very fatal mistake when he became prime minister in 1977. He should have gotten rid of all the previous ideology.
Oh, like Trump did. Trump did now.
He left them all.
Uh-huh.
So
since him,
all the major and determining positions, the ones that are kaveya, are in their hands. You have the whole press, and you have the judicial system, and everywhere they're there. All the ones that determine policy.
Now,
Yeah, the Attorney General. No, so I don't blame Bibi. He wants to do the right thing. But I'll tell you, that what gives me, what encourages me and gives me hope. It's the same thing was until 1977. Nobody ever thought that there could be successful immediate
change overnight.
Because until 1977, Mapai, they ruled, they dominated, and af eved echad lo yachol.
Livroyach.
But then came 1977, and boom, everything changed. Now it could have changed if you would have gotten on the right way. He left everybody. He left Dayan. He left what's his name, Weitzman, and they're the ones that stirred up Camp David. What can you do?
So
let's not go into that.
And what about October 7th? How did that happen? I mean, Alts and Neighborstown, we know that.
Yeah, no,
But I'm saying it's such a blunder.
The way I don't know, but according to the news reports, is that these leftists who were in the Shabak is the equivalent of the FBI. The Mossad is the equivalent of the CIA. The Shabak is the equivalent of
FBI.
And they were supposed to know about this, and maybe they knew about this, but they didn't tell the Prime Minister about it, so he would be able to act beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also all because of the left.
So the Prime Minister is not informed on a regular basis.
He's supposed to be informed of them, but this is what they're tying it now. Again, I don't know for sure. But
This is their argument.
This is the argument now that he was not informed at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
They held it back, especially.
Mm-hmm.
They should
You
should fail.
You personally know Bibi?
Yes.
Are you good terms with him?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But now he's been in office so long, isn't he a little like over his time now? No, I mean, he's been so long a prime minister.
No, there's nobody better than him now. He's been bad. I mean, he might be bad. He's not doing what's supposed to. Like, for instance, now there's an opportunity now, a golden opportunity. The window is open to annex Judea and Samaria. He's not doing it.
Right.
He has this.
What about Yossi Cohen? You know him?
Yossi Cohen, I know about him.
Of the Mossad, former.
Yossi Cohen, I know about him, and I know his cousin very well. Yossi Cohen is married to Yossi Cohen's wife is an Einikl of the Sfas Emes. Her father, her grandfather, very, very choshevet, ger chasidim, not alive. And she was, Shlomo Shamir is Yossi Cohen's father-in-law. His wife, Yossi's wife, is the daughter of Shlomo Shamir.
And who was Shlomo Shamir?
A journalist.
Right. Did you know the journalist Gellis from B'nai Brak, from the Yated?
Yeah, I heard of him. I didn't know him personally.
You didn't know him?
No.
You didn't know
No.
him? Any other interesting politicians or writers or poets
You
over
have
the
no
years?
time. You have no time.
I have time.
You have time?
Yes. Shalansky. You knew Avraham Shalansky?
Yeah.
You knew him?
Shalansky.
He was the Rebbe's cousin.
Yeah, no.
No.
Another Shalansky, I thought.
So
Those Shalansky, I know.
Tell me about who you know now.
I
Yeah.
don't know. But I want to tell you, if you have time,
A few more minutes. Yeah.
there was a weekly column in the Jewish press called Yitzchak Shamir Speaks.
Okay.
Now, people don't know that this was organized by myself. Every Sunday, this is after his resignation. He wasn't prime minister after all. He was a former prime minister. A former prime minister has a special office in.
I interviewed him.
Okay, he had a special office, and I would every Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, I would meet with him for a half hour, maybe.
Here in Tel Aviv.
45 minutes. We would meet together, and he would speak to me on tape. I would later go home and make with this
An article.
Yitzchak Shamir Speaks. Now, Yitzchak Shamir, I asked him, he was very, very adamantly against Bibi after Bibi gave up Hebron. The why? It's a certain area.
The why you said?
I forgot the name of it. He gave up a certain area in Hebron after he became prime minister. Before he became prime minister, I asked him, what do you think about Bibi? So he says to me, I'll tell you the truth. He wasn't raised in Likud. I don't know him personally. His education, he was raised mainly in Chutz La'aretz.
Yeah.
He's not here. But I know his father, a
professor
no,
of history.
Yeah, but he was a Jabotinsky
follower. Jabotinsky follower.
Strong. So I think that a son of such a father, so I hope he'll do good. So then when he came back Hebron, when he came, I saw Hebron.
When he gave away Hebron?
I came in that Sunday. He said to me, "Did you see what he did? Giving up Hebron, what he's done is." So I asked him. I said, "Tell me, when there was the meeting in where was it? Then came with Bush and everything. Baker. There was I forgot the name in Spain. They came to Spain to there was a meeting there." It slipped my mind.
Okay, wherever it was.
Okay, there was supposed to be a meeting.
In Geneva?
Not Geneva. There was supposed to be a meeting with all the Arab states, Syria, Egypt, and they wanted Israel too to go. The president at that time was Bush, Senior Bush.
Right.
And the Secretary of State was James Baker.
Yeah.
So at that time, Israel participated. Shapiro went there too. And they were going to speak about giving up land. And Gula Cohen at that time criticized them very much for even going there. And so at the end he didn't give up. But the etzem going to speak about it was
wrong.
Was wrong. And I think they asked the Rebbe, somebody asked the Rebbe whether should he go or not. The Rebbe said, it depends. If he's going to speak about the weather, he can go. But I don't, speak about other things.
Right.
So I asked him, the people have time is that you went to Madrid. That was Madrid conference. So he said, listen, I want to tell you something. Before this conference, I had tremendous pressure from Baker, Secretary of State. Tremendous pressure. He said, I said, look, if you want, I should go speak about the weather. I'll go. If you want to speak about giving up shtochim, amake. He said that.
I'm what?
Amake.
Amake. Oh, amake. He used the words amake?
Yeah.
Amake means a plague. In other words, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
About giving away land.
You forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
It ain't happening.
Yeah. So I said, listen. So James Baker says to me, listen, it's going to be, I promise you, the agenda will say giving up land. When it comes to deal with it, we'll be on your side and we will prevent it from happening. So he says, no,
I'm not accepting that either.
So they didn't put that in it. So I went. But the tremendous
pressure from James Baker.
I said, okay. But this guy goes up and gives up land. And from that day on, whenever you mentioned Bibi's name, he shied away from it. He said, no. And I remember when there was elections again, and Bibi lost at that time to Ehud Barak. So he's told me, so they had to make primaries for Bibi to become candidate again. So I asked Shamir at that time, what do you say about it? I said, anybody except not Bibi. Anybody. And I said, he would sell his soul for everything. Not Bibi, whatever he said. But today, unfortunately, there's no one better than him.
Right.
No matter how bad he is, others are worse.
Right.
That's why he's the best of the...
Mm-hmm. Okay, Rabbi Levine, thank you very much for your time. Really, it was an honor, be'emes. And as I said, we must write a book about everything that's in your head, because this is only a drop in the ocean. Zaigism, thank you.